There was something you said that I wanted to respond to because of the mic situation. It was so because you were talking about how they tried to introduce bears into Europe and it didn't work. They all died.
Koalas, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I will say that there are still tons of bears in Europe. They're just all in Berlin and they're all wearing harnesses.
Yeah.
This is the lovely Trish Koh, which is short for Patricia, correct?
It is. I think people are often confused because I think when they see a Patricia, they're like, who is this person? I'm like, it's me.
I forget if it was your email or something else, but I saw Patricia somewhere and I was like, who the fuck is Patricia?
Yeah,
and then
everyone
I
does
looked
that.
at the photo and it was you and I was like,
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah,
God,
it's
Trish is short.
Yeah.
How long have you been going by Trish for?
Oh, probably since like high school, which
Yeah.
in Australia starts at year 7.
Okay.
So for probably at least 20 years.
Was it a soft launch or were you like, you were showing up to school one day and you were like, they were like Patricia and you're like, Patricia who?
Well, it was actually a dramatic change in my image, I would say. So in primary school,
in year 7?
Exactly. In primary school, it was just Pat or Patty.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah.
You did Pat to Trish.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Because they gave me the form and the form said, what is your preferred name?
Yeah.
And I thought about that. Little 12-year-old me really deliberated. And I was like, I'm going to be Trish because I thought that was a sexy name.
That's beautiful. Has it worked out? Are you glad you went with Trish?
No, I don't think I've become any sexier.
But compared to Pat, do you think Pat would have really?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like if I was Pat, I would probably lean into maybe a more mask version of me.
You should have been Patrick. But with no K. Yeah. I don't have any nicknames. My middle name is Jacob. So my uncle famously, after I was born, called me AJ once. AJ. And my mother was like, absolutely not. And so she really put the kibosh on the whole nickname thing immediately. She was like, his legal government, we picked the name for a reason.
Yeah.
But so when I went to uni, because I went somewhere where nobody knew me, and I always wanted a nickname, so I was thinking about just lying and just telling them like, oh, my name is Bubbles. Because it's like, they don't know. I can just lie.
Yeah.
And so I envisioned like, all of these people know me as Bubbles. So I'm like, yeah, everyone calls me Bubbles back home or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I bring one of them home and they go, oh, yeah, I was talking to Bubbles the other day. And then one of my friends are back home, we're like, who the fuck is Bubbles? But then literally the first day in the first orientation, they're like, what's your name? And I'm like, Aaron. I'm like, fuck.
You just stuffed it.
Fuck. That was my chance to be, I don't know, Patricia.
Anyone.
Like,
Yeah,
you could have been anyone.
Yeah.
So I've always wanted a nickname, but I think the only one that would make sense for my name is either AJ or Ron.
Yeah.
And I think they're both horrible.
Yeah. Ron, you're not a Ron. I'm sorry.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I considered
can't.
doing it when I came here, and then I was like, I really don't like it.
No.
But some people like Ren. Have you met Ren yet?
No.
Her full legal government name given to her by God and her mother, Lauren.
Oh.
She goes by Ren. It's so fun.
Yeah. I have a friend named Lauren, and I think this is probably quite Australian, but we sometimes call her Loza.
Laza?
Yeah, Loza instead of Lauren. Yeah.
Some of the slang from Australians, I feel like you guys are testing me.
I think it's like the equivalent of the 6'7", but maybe Australian.
Because I will say, someone will say like fiery-o or whatever, and I'm like, that's not real.
That's not real.
And then I ask another Australian, they go, it is. And I'm like, are you guys
It's
in on
not
it?
fiery-o.
It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
But some of them are really lovely, like Sunnies.
Yeah.
Because people in the US say sunglasses every single time. Sunnies is lovely.
Yeah.
I love Sunnies.
Do you like Brolly? I like Brolly a lot.
What's Broly?
That's an umbrella. Yeah, Brolly. Yeah.
I swear to, like, I do trust you. I've never heard this one before, and they all seem like similar structure.
Yeah.
It's like the exact same thing.
It ends in an A or a Y. Yeah.
I did recently. Yeah. I was talking to Australian and they referred to a non-binary person as a non-bino. And I was like, I don't know if that's an internet thing or an Australian thing or a you thing, but it's not my flavor of queerness. So I'm like, I can't really comment on the phrase non-bino. But it sounds like rhinos and rhinoceroses are really cool.
That is cute. It's like the unicorn of the actual real world. So
I want you to know I'm obsessed with unicorns at the moment.
Really?
There's a book I can literally grab it right here. It's right next to my bed. It's The Natural History of the Unicorn, written by some UK professor. It's a nonfiction book which I've never read before. Yeah. I hate reading. Yeah. First of all, also hate reading nonfiction. Boring. Yeah. Except for this book, which is about unicorns.
Yeah.
Because even though unicorns aren't real. Spoiler alert, sorry. Their impact on like art and the market of Europe is
Yeah.
like catastrophically large, and they still kind of exist to us now because
Yeah.
they still drive commerce.
That's
We
crazy.
still put unicorns on things. We like unicorns.
Yeah.
And so there's been so many fake animals over time in history that have come and gone, and the
Yeah.
unicorn is one of the few that has persisted because we just like them.
Okay.
It's so interesting to
It's
me.
got staying power.
Yes, and it
Yeah.
comes from like all of these many different sources and many different things built together, and it's like, I don't know, if it's an idea of like, if you believe in something and it makes you live your life differently, it might as well be as real
Yeah.
as anything.
Yeah. It's your truth.
Yes. No, literally, my truth is it's so interesting, and
Yeah.
everyone loves them. Like
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
ask people like, how do you kill a unicorn?
Yeah.
Everyone will be like, oh my
No,
god, stop, don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas like, you're like, how do you kill a dragon? They're like, I don't
Yeah.
know, fucking stab
Yeah,
it or whatever.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
nobody cares.
I guess it's because they're non-threatening, right? Like they're
Yeah.
supposed to just be eating grass or vibing and being happy.
There's
Right?
in the Catholic Church, there was a time where the unicorn was synonymous with Jesus in like medieval paintings. So
Yeah.
that's part of the positiveness. The
Yeah.
horn was also, there was like an incorrect assumption that unicorn horns would sweat around poison. So it was like a safety thing that could
Yeah.
keep you safe. And then
Yeah.
there's like a powdered version that you could like mix into things
Yeah.
that would relieve the poison. So it's
Yeah.
like it's always just been positive.
Yeah.
There's never been like a fear of a unicorn
Aw.
because they're lit and they're always just trying to do their own things, but everyone's trying to capture them, but they aren't real.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. And they're based on all these different random fucking animals. And then it's also like, obviously us doing like biology stuff where it's like our definitions of animals is not what it was way back when. So
Yeah.
even they're confused with like, they're reading like qualitative assessments of animals trying to figure out what is the actual animal they're talking about, because
Yeah.
it might be one that's no longer with us. It
Yeah.
might be a combination of these two. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
And I guess they didn't have visibility in things like we do now, right?
Yeah.
Like obviously, if you want to see something's a platypus, you take a photo and you look at it. But they had, some guy having to sketch it out every single time and then take it back stuffed to England and
iNaturalist is
stuff.
the best thing that's ever happened in my relationship with me and my mother, because even while she's here, I'm not a plant biologist. I study animals, and even then, I don't know what animals are.
Yeah.
And my background is in cell work. I play video games. I don't go outside. I don't know anything about
Yeah.
animals. In this neighborhood too, every single day we're walking by the plants. My mother goes, "Which one's this one?"
Aww.
And I go, "I don't know."
Yeah.
And then instead of us arguing or us starting whatever, she takes out her little phone.
She looks it up.
iNaturalist takes a photo, size 46 font. She has
Yeah.
to scroll and
Yeah.
read all of it. But it really solves a lot of argument, because it's like I appreciate her glamour and the beauty of
Yeah.
her like enjoying the moment or whatever, but it's always raining or
Yeah.
whatever. And I'm like, why? But not right now.
Yeah.
We don't need to know what the black flower plant is right now. We can wait.
Yeah.
And so she takes her little photo. She's got the info in her little thing.
And
we're
then
going,
she can look
It's
it up
really
later.
brilliant.
Yeah.
It's cool.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's done wonders for your relationship.
It's really actually a lot of things have really improved our relationship. I would say iNaturalist is number one. Number two is her retiring, and then number three is me going to therapy.
Yeah.
Those three things really
Yeah.
have really bridged the gap between our generation. It's still a
Yeah.
work in progress,
Yeah.
but things are better. She just left. She was visiting, and we only argued a little bit, which was
Aw.
good. Yeah, it was much better.
Yeah.
But I do have some structure to this. So most of this is just introduction. We're going to talk. But I do have some segments. So the first one's called standard deviation. It's essentially a would you rather. So
Yep.
I'm going to give you two options.
Yep.
You have to pick one and explain why.
Okay.
It's called standard deviation for a reason that will become very obvious very quickly.
Not standard error.
Not standard error.
That's my preferred
What's...
measure of variability.
Because I know just enough about stats to click on Prism for it to do it for me.
Yeah,
I really, truly
yeah.
don't understand statistics,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is funny because a lot of the people in our building
Yeah.
are like stats wizards.
Yeah.
And I really don't. I'm Googling what is a mean?
Yeah.
Like mean versus mode.
Yeah.
Quick. Yeah.
I'm judging.
Yeah.
Because I think I would class myself as probably more of those statsy people.
Yes.
So when people ask me about animals, like, I don't know, does it
Yeah.
look like it falls in the bell curve or what? Like,
You're doing like normal distributions.
Yeah,
Bootstrapping.
Poisson, Gaussian, I love them all.
A Poisson distribution.
I just like saying
That's
Poisson.
a beautiful name for a young girl.
Yeah,
Poisson
Poisson.
distribution.
Do you know what it means in French?
No.
It means fish. We've come full circle, people.
That's great. Let's do this we're coming back to that. So it's essentially would you rather standard deviation. Your two options.
Yeah.
Option one is spend 10 more years at the University of Melbourne.
Okay.
Right. Tough
Yep.
pill to swallow. Second one, you have to defeat your resurrected dog because an ancient Greek demon has attached his/her or their soul and will not let go without being killed a second time. So essentially you will be killing your dog twice. If you do not have a dog, one will be provided to you. So those are your two
Yeah.
options. They're both great.
I think I would, not to, crap on the University of Melbourne, but I think my time...
You've paid your dues.
I have.
I think you're allowed to speak your truth.
Yeah, I have been. I should be able to leave now.
Yeah.
I would unfortunately kill my own dog. I think if she was going to be dead anyway, and then she came back to life, I think, sometimes we stray too close to the sun in science, and what should be dead should stay dead.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
I've always said that.
Yeah. I just don't know how I would kill her because I feel like so I work on fish mostly, so when I kill fish, I cut their heads off, and I'm really not going to be able to do that.
It's actually probably really
dog.
hard too, because there's a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah,
like there's a lot more. Fish are kind of just like little jelly boys. With like a
exactly.
Bit of stuff.
Yeah, I knock them out and then I just sort of collect their heads.
Yeah.
I think there would be probably a little bit more, like it'd be a bit more visceral.
It'd be personal.
Bit more blood. Yeah.
Well, that's like the number one thing that people ask me, like, because I do the demonstrating or whatever, and they're always like, ask them about their research, and so they always go, oh my god, you work in the pest lab, and I go, yep. And they say, what do you do? And I say, oh, I CT scan mice and look at their skulls because they have little bits of thylacine DNA, lots of little threads they can take. They go, do you kill them? Always. And I'm like, yes. Yeah. And they go, oh my god, why would you say that? And I said, bitch, you asked me.
Yeah.
I do kill them. And then they're like, don't know what to do with them. And it was like, what do you like? When it's my mother asking me stuff like that, I am like more patient because she's not like a scientist. But I was like, if you're in undergrad in biology, you gotta wake up.
Yeah. How do you think your drugs have been synthesized, guys?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, because I find it very interesting because I love taboo stuff just innately. I find it very interesting. Yeah. But it's like, it's funny to me because the public is so justifiably disconnected from the way that we treat animals, both for scientific research and then also for farming. Because it's not inherently pleasant. There's no need to be engaging with it if it's not important to you or relevant.
Yeah.
But so like people not understanding that like, ethically, you don't want to test these medications or these procedures in humans. Like, that's not good.
Yeah.
But it's like, once you've done the work in a cell type or with a computer, it's like, well, you can't just...
It's not green.
That's not... Yeah, that's not... That's... You've got, like, a yellow light situation. It's like, well, what's more ethical? Is it
because you have
40 mice or 5 humans? Like, yes. So I always find it funny. I'm always love talking to people about stuff like that because it doesn't bother me. Like, I'm at peace with it, do it, whatever. Yeah. But I imagine... working with fish is kind of easier in that regard.
It is. I think people have dehumanized fish. But like, I think there is like...
They're famously human.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think, there's a hierarchy whether people want to acknowledge it or not. And I have a theory that it's based on whether or not you can understand something or if it can scream in a way that you can hear it. And I have a feeling that because fish don't really have a voice. Yeah.
Fish don't have a voice.
We must listen to the voice.
That's really your career goal, is to give fish a voice. Yeah. That's so beautiful.
Yeah, just listen to them. I think people just don't think they probably are as close to us in terms of the ability of like the amount of pain or distress that they can feel.
That's why I find it so interesting because the most ethics for animals kind of scale with like what our perception is of their consciousness.
Yeah.
But we're constantly learning that most animals, if not all of them, have way more functioning than we think they do.
Yeah.
There's like single cell things like that you can introduce Pavlovian learning to, and it's like that's interesting.
Yeah, I think if I think about it too much, my brain will literally break and melt. So I actually refuse to engage in that. Like,
I read a poem 2 years ago when I was in Hawaii that was written by a horse girl.
Yeah,
strong intro.
I love horse girls.
Love a horse girl because they're all mentally ill.
Yeah, but they like what they like. And they're not, faking anything. So
that's true. They're self-actualized. They're the top level.
They're transparent about it.
Have you ever seen that post that's like 17-year-old girls when they find out their horse is female and they're like, no. Like I'm like, there is something there that I love. Like I just love shit like that where I'm like, just be messy. Fucking love it. But it is called On Learning That Flies Age Faster After Witnessing Death. And so the whole poem is about a student of hers saying like, you're rich because you work with horses or whatever. And she kind of goes back through her entire life and is kind of realizing like, oh, I've actually been poor my entire life. And she talks about like her divorce, for instance, where she's like, you have to pay so much money to get out of the divorce. So it's like you're trading one debt for another debt. Like this, it's really harrowing and soul crushing. And so I was confused by the title because I was like, what are you referencing? Mm. It's a study about flies. So it's been observed before that flies will age faster when they're around death. So if you cage flies with other flies, they die. They will lay eggs faster. They lose fat deposits and they die faster. But it was unclear what the mechanism was, if it was scent or what. And so what these researchers found through like immunohistochemistry is they found the cluster of neurons that are all responsible for this. And they found an even tighter cluster where when you knock them out, the response doesn't happen. All of those neurons are all related to sight.
Oh, wow.
It is the sight of another fly dying
Yeah.
that triggers a cascade of signals that leads to rapid aging and death.
That's
Isn't that
so,
horrifying?
that is so sad. It
'Cause-
makes me so depressed about like the amount of flies I've murdered.
Because they're allegedly not conscious, right? No
No.
spine, no rights. So
No,
you can do whatever you want.
no right.
That's what they tell the fly people all say that. All the insect people, because they do whatever.
Yeah, they do. It's
Because they don't
it's
have a
privilege.
spine. Yeah. So
yeah.
as soon as you get a spine in there, or if you're like an octopus, they're much
Yeah.
stricter to work
But
with.
I think
they
that's
are really
because of
smart.
like octopus propaganda sometimes. I mean, I agree with it.
What do you?
But like, there's been
Yeah.
no other species without a spine that's been able to weaponize human like feeling as much as like octopus have.
Yeah, and that's due to propaganda.
Yeah,
Who's
octopus-
doing octopus propaganda?
I think Netflix had My Octopus Teacher, and I reckon that was part of Octopus.
My octopus teacher?
Have you not heard of this?
No,
this
I
was like
don't
a whole...
watch TV. That's
okay,
something that's
okay,
really
all
crazy
right. Yeah,
about me.
how do you stay on top of things? I consume so much media.
I'm on my phone. I'm mostly listening to
Yeah.
music. I
Yeah.
talk to people, but I
I
don't
talk to people.
famously. Dude, when we did sci-fi my intro thing, I forgot what I put. So then when I
Yeah.
listened to it on the recording back, and
Yeah.
Atlanta says she's introducing me, she says all this shit. She says Erin enjoys speaking in public as well as privately. Me laughing at my own joke because I forgot about it.
it's so
That
good.
shit, I was like, that's fucking so funny. I forgot I said that.
Yeah.
So I do love talking,
Yeah.
but I'm people are constantly like, oh, West Side Story, and I'm like, that's which one's that one?
Yeah.
Like, I really truly don't. So
Yeah.
this is like an octopus teacher.
Yeah.
Is he an octopus?
No, so it's about like a scuba diver. I think I can't remember where. I think it's South Africa or somewhere.
Yeah, great place.
And yes, famous for diving and sharks.
Yeah.
But I think he goes around and he finds an octopus when he's out diving, and he sort of establishes a rapport with this octopus. So they become friends. Like they literally become friends, and they like give each other things. And
Are they like dapping each other up?
Yeah,
That would take
I
a
don't
while.
know.
'Cause there's a lot of legs.
Yeah. So I would consider them friends in the effective piece of propaganda, octopus propaganda I was watching.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were friends, and octopus live very famously short lives. So it
How long
carked
do they
it.
live?
I think a year for a lot of
Really?
species. Yeah, it's weird. It's
Yeah,
odd.
they're weird
But they
animals.
don't live for a very long time.
Yeah.
And then it died, and it was just this, really harrowing thing for this man who lost his friend, an octopus.
He's grieving the death.
Yeah, of an octopus. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's all part and parcel of like, decapods, not decapods. That's lobsters and stuff.
Yeah.
But octopus and cephalopods, we sort of think that they're very intelligent and are wise, or like, can form relationships with one another. So we want to make sure that they are treated with the utmost of like animal ethics.
Yeah.
But I have a counter argument to that, which is I like octopuses, but I'm not always very smart. I can say dumb bitch things a lot.
Yeah.
If people are assigning ethics based on intelligence, I feel really uncomfortable with that.
You would be
because
in trouble.
I'm in the target.
You would lose your rights quickly.
I would lose my rights.
So they would like give you like a mirror task, and you would like walk
I
up
would
and
fail
touch
it.
the mirror.
Yeah, I would
'Cause you'd
probably
be
just
like,
look
"Who's
at
that
it and just
animal?
be like, "What's going on?
Who's
yeah,
that separate animal that's not me
Yeah,
in the
and then
mirror?"
I'd start yelling at it, probably, and
Yeah.
trying to attack it.
So your evidence for why we should be disrespecting octopuses more is because you are not hitting the benchmark.
Yeah, maybe I'm feeling threatened by the octopus.
You're okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do, because
Yeah.
they have a lot of hands too. They'd probably be really good at bench work.
Yeah.
I'd be
Oh,
afraid if
yeah.
my competitor in my career was an octopus, I would be worried.
How many times have you done an epi, and then you've got a falcon tube, and then you've got a micropipette, and then you're like, I have to do all these with my two hands.
Yeah.
An octopus could just
They could just grab it.
Yeah.
It would be really
even,
lovely. They'd
Yeah.
also be really good at climbing.
Yeah, they would
It's
be
like
very good at climbing. Yeah.
Sometimes I'd be on the wall trying to climb,
Yeah.
and I just think about a
Yeah.
spider and I
Yeah.
get really mad.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that's fucking bullshit. And they can fall as long as they want. They take no fall damage.
Yeah.
That part of Minecraft is accurate.
Yeah.
They reach terminal velocity, and it's at a chill because of their size or whatever.
That's
it's
crazy.
at.
Also,
Yeah.
kind of yuck. I hate that. I'm feeling
not?
uncomfortable with that. No, with
You think
the spiders.
You
yeah.
have a lot of wrath towards animals,
yeah.
I'm learning.
Yeah, maybe I don't like them after all, actually. But yeah, unnatural. Even though it's natural.
That's what I love, though, when people, I mean, famously, I love anti-gay people because I find it so funny.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's very clearly one thing, but maybe it's just the generation we're raised in. I don't know. But
Yeah.
it's like when people are like really, truly homophobic, obsessed, and I do want to
Yeah,
get to know
yeah.
them because I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So when they're like, it's unnatural, I'm like, rodents, if their baby comes out weird, they eat it.
Yeah.
That's natural
Yeah.
because that's happening in the
Yeah,
natural world.
yeah.
So I'm like, that to me, the argument of whether or not it's natural to me doesn't matter because the award of something being natural to me is not inherently good or bad.
No, yeah. Also, I guess the other thing is also, we live in a very unnatural world.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to really live a natural world, we probably wouldn't be having computers and stuff. So to like use, queer people as this is where we should stop. It seems a bit strange to me. Yeah.
Somebody sent me a shirt recently that was made by Clickhole, I think, that it says ally to most LGBTQ people. That's how I feel, though. Because I will say I believe in gay rights, but I also believe in gay wrongs.
Yeah.
Just because you're gay, that does not make you a good person.
Yeah.
It does make you interesting. You are cool if you're gay innately.
Yeah.
But I've met many a queer people, trans people, non-binos.
Yeah.
It's like you actually your voice should be silenced.
Yeah.
You should be restrained.
Maybe you guys are coming to that same thing that, straight white women came across when we realized that the girl boss people weren't always right.
Dude, from day one, the gaslight gately gays.
Gaslight.
That reminds me though of your during sci-fi, which we did sci-fi with Elena Colley together. There's a recording of it that you can listen to. It's really good. When you were anti-geese.
Yeah.
And that was the most resounding part of anything. Like, people really responded positively to you saying that you hate geese.
Yeah, I got messages about that. And I was like, did you get anything else from like 8 minutes?
Any of the jokes you set up or anything? You just said, geese are fucking horrible. And everyone was like, here. Which is valid. I felt the exact same way where I was like, thank you for speaking.
Bad.
They're horrible.
Yeah.
Geese are horrible creatures.
Yeah.
There was something you said that I wanted to respond to because of the mic situation. It was because you were talking about how they tried to introduce bears into Europe and it didn't work. They all died.
Koalas, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I will say that there are still tons of bears in Europe. They're just all in Berlin and they're all wearing harnesses.
Yeah.
Which is, like, I thought of that, like, a minute after you said it. And I was like,
damn.
Fuck. Which then fed into my, like, because I stumbled my lines or whatever. And I was like,
yeah. No, you did great that night.
I had so much fun.
I had a lot of fun, too.
That shit was so fun.
Yeah. Did you get a high after that? I had a massive high.
100%. Yeah. One of my favorite... There's a musician I really like named Mitski. Huge fan of the show, of course. She's definitely one of the 13 viewers. But she says, somebody in an interview asked her once if she's any pre-stage rituals, and she said that she doesn't because she thinks that people do that because they feel nervous.
Yeah.
And she says that the only time that she feels like herself is when she's on stage.
Yeah.
I think that the being on stage, to me, I don't feel like myself or not myself. I feel a feeling that is undescribable and completely unrelated.
Yeah.
But when I step off stage, I feel so much like myself.
Yeah.
And I think it's important for my brain because then I know when I go to the grocery store, I'm like, I'm not on stage because I stepped off stage.
Yeah.
Like, I find that part to be very rewarding.
Yeah.
So the afterwards is so good.
Yeah. That really resonates with me because so I'm not a theater kid, unlike...
Yeah, which is, thank you for bringing it up. It's not something that I actively try to hide from people.
He said that he wanted to keep it quiet. But
It's really embarrassing.
Outing you about this.
I've also played League of Legends for 10 years, but keep going. We don't need to. There's a lot of it, yeah.
But I am probably an anti-theater kid.
That's valid.
I never,
So am I,
yeah. Don't dance, don't sing, don't act.
Yeah.
I think listening to my voice, I think you could understand why I wouldn't.
But you
be
have
singing.
a beautiful voice.
Oh, thank you. But not for singing. And I've never really experienced being on stage or performing. Like, I haven't performed for people, really.
I find that interesting, though, because you're so naturally good at it.
I think it's because I feed off people's energy, like a little vampire. So I enjoy, like, talking to people and connecting to people.
Yes.
But I'm not really a born performer or anything like that. And yet, like, on stage, I would describe, I have a persona that is not that, it's close to my own persona, but it's a smarter, wittier, funnier version, and I don't know where it comes from. Maybe adrenaline.
So you were enjoying the stage situation because it's like unlocking a piece of yourself. That's cool.
And I like that. It's just like I don't get that unless I feel a little bit of pressure, probably. And
I do think, I forget who said it, there's a quote that it's like people perform better when they're a little afraid.
Yeah.
I genuinely do believe that. Because it's like if you were to think about how to package your thesis very shortly for an elevator pitch, you would like have some thoughts or do whatever. When you do a 3-minute thesis and like there's a gun being held to your head, it's like you really lock in.
Yeah,
you
do it.
You really cut everything that's not necessary. You really pick the carefulest words.
Yeah.
That shit is so psychotic.
Yeah.
Everyone should do 3-minute thesis. It's a really positive experience, but it's so scary.
I admire you so much for doing that because I would never choose to do that.
It's psychotically scary.
I can't.
It's horrifying. And also Jen is... what's her last name? I don't remember. Martin.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of my mother and I'm like, Fritz Agostini. I'm like, not that one. She's not very helpful. But she's so comforting and such a great person because she does lots of public speaking or whatever. But she does throw in a few sentences that I'm like, you shouldn't say that. Where she tells us right before she goes, she's like, You get 3 minutes. You get a little timer. If you go over by 1 second, you are instantly disqualified. And I was like, don't say that. But she says like, so what you're going to do is when you're about to hit the time, stop talking, because you get points for what you say. You can still get enough points to get to the next round, even if you don't say everything. Yeah. But if you get disqualified, you can't make it to the next round. Yeah. So she's like, what you're going to do. And she even tells the audience when she gets there, and she says, these lovely people, what might happen is if they hit time, they might just stop talking. Yep. It's totally normal. It's not whatever. Like, so that aspect of it is good. But specifically the phrase, if you go over by 1 second, you'll be instantly disqualified. Yeah. So funny. Yeah. So funny.
That is.
Because it's not what you want to tell a room full of 20-year-olds who are having one of the most anxious experiences of their life. Yeah. It's really interesting.
It's not calming. It's not centering. Yeah.
No, it's not either of those things. Really puts you outside of yourself. Yeah. But it's really fun and really rewarding. I want to do it again next year because I think this past time that I did it, my only thing that I wanted to do was have fun, because I was like, I it's so scary. Like, I don't know how it's going to go. And I did quite well. I was quite happy, but it wasn't. There was somebody in the final round whose name was Aaron also, but I can't remember his last name. But his research was on like free will, and he cried during his. Which had a lot of mixed reactions, but I what I did like about it was, at least my perception of it was, he was so genuinely passionate about what he was doing, and that was just how he's feeling at the moment. And I really like that he put himself into a piece of it. So I really want to like be more.
Do you want to cry?
No, I don't cry because I'm a boy. Yeah. So that would be gender unaffirming for me. I'm really tough, so I didn't do that.
I feel like you wouldn't even have time to cry. That's why I made a face.
Like,
I don't understand how you could.
He made it, and he quoted he quoted Jesus. He said, "Forgive them, Father, for they know what they do." He quoted Jesus Christ.
This sounds like a really heavy.
Was it quoted Jesus. I had a great time, and also his slide was really good. Like, I actually a lot of people I talked to afterwards, they were like, he was fake crying or whatever. And I was like, I don't think he was. I think that situation is so stressful. Yeah. You kind of aren't thinking, and you're kind of just doing stuff. So it's like, I actually genuinely think that he got choked up because he was like genuinely like didn't have the brain power to like kind of manage the emotions at the same time. He just genuinely yeah it's a psychotic experience. It's so fun though, and everyone should do it. I'm not
doing it.
Sorry. Everyone except Trish should do it. Trish should not do it.
My brain works really slowly, so even if I memorize something, it just won't ever come out that quickly or connected.
That's kind of better for public speaking though. I do think too, something that I learned from doing it as opposed to just watching them is because everyone practices it so much, everyone's is actually kind of really robotic. I think this next year I'm gonna practice it not that much. Since I'm satisfied with what happened last time, and I could get eliminated instantly, and that would be okay.
Are you gonna type B this?
I think so. I think I'm gonna have like the major points and like because I think I'm more familiar with like the rubric and like what you do if you want to do well, as opposed, because like it's always a game of like it's fun to win and do well, but realistically I want to have a good time. Like that's more important to me. And also stuff like that, it's way more important to represent yourself, because that's actually what you're doing. Is there's a lot of people from a lot of different departments that are like, oh, who is this person, what's going on? So it's way more important that you like represent yourself as you are in as positive a light as you can. Like, not you don't have to be perfect or anything, but it's like, I think I'm just gonna like try to be, but I'm always like, I'm gonna be chill this time, and that never happens. So we'll see. Maybe it'll be 8, but I think I'm gonna have more fun this time. I made it to the grand finals. Scary. I slept so good afterwards. All of the
You're probably mentally
gone.
Exhausted.
Oh, it's so psychotic. And it's also like, so you get there like before it sets up, because they show you how the mics and everything work. So there's like 14 of us. We've never met each other before. We're all having, the worst panic of your life, and this is how we're meeting. So it's very much like, what do you do? And they're like, economics. And I'm like, what's that? Like, it's very like, we're all just like, fear. So then everyone's just like but then that's when I met Maddie. I don't know if you met Maddie. She's from New Jersey, rock climber. But I met her there, and she rocks up 5 minutes late with a burrito eating it. And I was like, what the fuck are you eating? I was like, that's brilliant.
Did you say California?
She's from New Jersey.
New Jersey. Oh,
which is because for that, the first 7 people go. There's a gap, and then the next 7 people go because they have to change over the mics. And so I went second or third, I can't remember. But I went in the first half, so I'm chilling. They're changing over the mics. And she was in the second half. She comes up to me and she goes, "Where are you from?" And I was like, "New Jersey." And she was like, "No, you're not." And I was like, I was like, "Where are you from?" And she was like, "New Jersey." And I was like, "No, you're not." Like, he was so, because she was just like, the way you were talking, I just knew you were from like Philly or somewhere, whatever. And she was like, "Where in New Jersey?" And I was like, "Hey man," and I forget which town she's from, but she's from North. And she was like, "Oh my God, yeah, let's talk." And then afterwards she was like, "Yeah, I do climbing." And I was like, "We are friends now."
Yeah. Oh, that's so
Everyone
cute.
From New Jersey is friends. Yeah. Once you leave, when you're in New Jersey,
yeah.
They're all enemies.
I also feel like, obviously there's quite a few people from the US who come over, but everyone's Californian.
Yes.
Like everyone's Californian.
Which is not horrible.
Yeah.
Because people I meet so many people and they're always like, you're the first American I've met that I don't find annoying.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
first of all, qualified compliment, so that's a little dicey, but thank you. But also, everyone you've met is from California. That's fine.
Yeah,
That has
yeah.
nothing to do with them. Like, you should hate America, but for other reasons.
Yeah.
Not
Maybe
because we talk slow. That's just the left.
Yeah. I reckon everyone's probably an extrovert in California as well, is what I've learned. Culturally, everyone's very chatty.
But it's like the difference between the East Coast and West Coast US, which my old boss when I did brewing research, we have time to get into that, told me this because he lived on both coasts and in Ireland. So he had like the perspective of like living on one coast, taking a break, living on the other. And his example was like, say you get a flat tire on a highway.
Yeah.
Someone from the West Coast, like from California, they're going to pull over the car and they'll be like, oh my God, I just saw your tire went on. Is everything okay? And you're like, yeah, it's okay. It's fine. They go, oh my God, like, do you need to call anyone? You're like, no, it's fine. They go, okay, have a great day. Like, I hope everything works out. And they drive away.
Yeah.
You do that on the East Coast. You pull over. Somebody's going to pull over and they're going to be like, what the fuck are you doing? They're like, you're not even in the shoulder yet. Pull over more. They pull over and the whole time they're like, you're a fucking idiot. These tires are all wet. And the whole time they're fixing your car. They're putting the wheel out, whatever. They finish, they go, get out of here. I never want to see you again. That is so the East Coast. And that's why I love it. It's because it's like a playfulness, rudeness. It's not for everyone, but I fucking love it. It's so fun.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's more real.
Yeah.
Because like realistically, like especially when you meet a stranger, I don't fucking know you.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah.
Like I maybe like you or don't like you or whatever, but the depth of that emotion is not super big. So it's like I'm not gonna have these
I don't have an
big
opinion.
reactions.
Yeah.
I'm just like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
But it's like when it comes like push to shove, I feel like, well, it's not, and again, not everyone in California is like a soulless monster that doesn't follow through on their friendships, but it's like people do have stories of like living in California where it's like something happens, their mom gets sick or whatever, and it's like their friend group kind of doesn't step up. That would never happen in New York.
Yeah.
Because it's like people are just so like, it takes longer, I think, to get there because it's like you kind of have to like, I don't know, make fun of their asymmetric haircut or whatever. But it's like once you're friends, it's like the actual depth and connection is really beautiful. But I think because like that is the standard, people aren't willing to just give that up right away. So you kind of have to like shake it, which I think is better because then it's like you're friends with people you actually like. Yeah. Instead of like this weird vapid.
Convenience kind of thing. Yeah.
But there's benefits too. Like there's definitely less screaming on the West Coast. There's less people like you go to the subway in New York and there's like a wizard. Yeah. And he's just like yelling and it's like and you're like to the person next to you, you're like, who the fuck is a wizard? And they're like, do not look at him. Don't look. Do not look at him. That's a mistake. It's like a weeping angel situation. Yeah. So that's the East West Coast in my mind, but there's both pros and cons, but it's like sibling beef. So I love shitting on California because it's like losers. Yeah.
Where do you think Melbourne fits in between the two?
Melbourne, I think the someone else told me this, that Melbourne is New York and then Sydney is LA. That I think is very accurate. Yeah. Because I do think, but also people in Australia just generally are nicer. So like, but even here, compared to New Jersey, are you kidding me? Yeah. I came here and somebody like would ask me how my day was and they're still talking to me and I'm like, are they trying to sell me something? Like, what's going on? And then they're like, have a great day. And I'm like, what the fuck? There was Alicia, who's also from New Jersey, came here and she I was like helping her, but like also like she's an adult, so like give her space, whatever. So she'd come to me periodically and be like, oh, this is my experience, or I don't understand this or whatever. And she was like, somebody helped me with the Mikey. And I was like, I know, right? Aww. Because she was trying to figure out the car and she couldn't figure it. And somebody just came up, like some sweet older person was like, hey, do you need help with the mic? And she's like, yeah, I'm not from here. And they helped her. And I was like, no one would ever do that in New York City. Yeah. No one would ever do that unless they're trying to sell you. So they'd be like, do you need help buying my CD? Like, what do you, I noticed there's a bunch of change in your pocket. Do you need help carrying it? Like, that's what someone in New York. So it's like, it took me a while to get used to like people being nice here, which is funny because people in Melbourne aren't even necessarily nice.
No, I feel like, I guess culturally compared to the other cities, it is a bit more rat racy in Melbourne. I don't really know Sydney very well, but I assume that would probably be the worst of the rat races. Also, I think everyone's probably a little bit more beautiful in Sydney. Yeah.
She's saying Melbourne's full of bricks.
Yeah. I think maybe in a genuine Wiragos kind of way.
The fashion, though, we're destroying them.
Yeah, we are very good at that, I would say. Yeah. But I think I would develop some sort of, well, I mean, I'm already have many insecurities, but it would get far worse if I lived in Sydney.
We're gonna bring up your
Yeah. Yeah.
Famously, so when you listen to Sci-Fi, What the Duck podcast, recorded by ABC, you'll notice that there is no commentary about Trish's hair anywhere on there. Yeah. That's because it was all cut, which makes sense. They have to cut a bunch of shit or whatever. Yeah. But I famously, one of the jokes I made, so Sci-Fi, the structure is there's 2 teams. There's 3 scientists, 3 comics. And so Trish's team is her and 2 comics. One is Rowan Thumbar, bald Sri Lankan man, and then Adam McKenzie, who's like a bald white man. And my joke at the end was like, I'm so grateful to be here. Like, being here is so awesome. I'm so glad I got to do this, even though that means I need to listen to the other team talk 3 fucking times about how bald they are. Which I wrote that joke because I was just like, I'll change this later. Because famously, Trish is not bald. Beautiful, glowing hair.
Thank you.
But then I just kept it because I was like, the concept of calling Trish bald is so funny.
It was hysterical.
And then you came up and you were like, I've always been there for you, which was so funny.
Yeah.
And you were like, and then I was like, but I love your hair. Where did you get it? Like, it's so like, so, and then at the end, was it your partner or you that told me?
Oh, it was both of us, I think.
Yeah.
I actually had a massive breakdown on the day about my hair because someone did my fringe and they didn't do it in a nice way. So I ended up having to cut my own hair. Yeah. So it was actually a really like sore point for me to have my hair.
Really a critical.
Yeah. Like I was crying on that day. Yeah.
So,
it
and
was
I
pretty
just
bad.
magically knew psychically that was the
I was
thing
going to be
that
sensitive
you were
about that.
That a good friend was genuinely insecure about on that day.
Yeah.
I'm really glad because Adam, when he went, was about to say something about somebody's hair on our team.
Yeah.
And he like got distracted or someone interrupted him or something.
Yeah.
And Luke and I afterwards were so grateful because there's no way that he was talking about Rose's hair.
Yeah.
There's no way he was about to say something negative about it. It was going to be about Luke and I.
Yeah, it was.
And thankfully he got cut off because I was like, we cannot recover from that.
No.
Like we really need, we cannot be commenting about the other team's hair.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, that shit was so fun though.
It
Did you
was.
listen to the edited version?
I did, just because people had asked me for a link and I
Yeah.
couldn't give them a link without listening to it because in case it was a shit show.
Yeah. But you can. They're not asking for a link to something good.
Yeah.
They're just like, what's the link? That's their problem.
Yeah. So I did listen to it.
Yes.
I think obviously because it's the ABC, they have to make sure that it's a little bit more kosher than this probably.
Yeah.
Which I'm hoping
Wait, could you imagine? I cut this down as 10 minutes. How are you? Good.
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
That's what I think Lukian's
Yeah.
episode will be with. He's the only person that, because like I didn't mention it before, but we can cut anything that you don't want. I'll send you a rough draft beforehand. Because just, and the intent of that is to make sure that everyone feels comfortable. Because also like we're professional people, so it's kind of annoying because we have to like, the only person that's not what that's about is Lukian.
Yeah.
To him, it's more of a threat.
Yeah.
That just because he says something does not mean that I will be publishing video content about it.
No.
Because he needs to be reined in.
He does.
Yes.
Yeah.
He has a lot of opinions about the
Yeah.
world. He's gonna go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so you were listening to the edited.
I did. I hate listening to my own voice, so this was pretty awful to have to listen to.
It seems
quite
like
frankly.
a bad activity.
Yeah,
That's not what
it's
you
just
enjoy.
not fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but yeah, they did take out a lot of things that would make sense to keep in because there was references to jokes that were made that were cut out.
Yes.
So obviously a little bit confusing for people who hadn't been there at the actual podcast at the actual live show.
Yes.
But I did enjoy it, and it was kind of nice hearing like a professional, professionally produced.
Yeah,
podcast.
they did a great job
Yeah.
like cutting it and stuff because it's always like I always err on the side of less editing because I'm lazy.
Yeah.
But then I rationalize as being like it's my artistic choice or whatever. So when people like cut the silences and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, this is way more engaging and nice.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, oh yeah, and it's like thinking about how long that probably took them and whatever. Yeah. And that's also because they. Like the podcast or their podcast is called What the Duck. So it's like we are allowed to swear, but like they still have to censor it. So it's like they have to be mindful of like what we can and can't say, which is why you should go in person to the sci-fi. Because Elena Colley's a genius and they're really fun and interesting. And you get
She's very
more
funny.
funny jokes and people say stuff. It's very fun.
It's very, very fun. And the audience energy is also infectious.
It was so fun. Would you do it again?
I would do it again.
100% I would too. And now I live so close. I live down the street. So I do actually want to talk to Linda anyways, because I'm just curious about her career because she is cool and does cool stuff. And I'm like, that seems more fun than doing just research. But like, I do want to let her know, like, if somebody cancels the day of, let me know. I'm right here. Yeah. And I'll just go up there and just talk. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
But I had a great time. It was so fun. I love public speaking. It's something that's deeply wrong with me.
I like it too.
Right?
I think
it's
people,
psychotic.
people are often confused about why you would like it.
Yeah.
And they look at you like, you know, you're stupid, frankly. But it's like
well, that's just you.
yeah. It's because I said something stupid.
Yeah.
But it's actually really fun, and maybe it's that little bit of narcissism that comes out in
That's
me.
what you said. Didn't you say that on stage or something?
Yeah.
You've talked about this before.
Yeah, I just like.
No, I think it was when we got off, and you were like, "My narcissism has been fulfilled."
I know. It really kind of like helps you. I'm like, I like being the center of attention when I'm controlling the environment. And I think that's the problem. Like, I don't want to be put in the spot randomly about things. I don't want to be in a party center of attention.
Yes.
But if I know what I'm supposed to do, what my job is, and everyone's got my focus,
I feel that because
I
I actually feel quite anxious at most parties because I'm like, I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, I often just
what are we doing?
Yeah, and I at parties,
Yes.
I'm rarely the life of the party.
Me
Like I'm
neither.
always like in the corner bitching with
That's why
someone.
all my friends are drug addicts, because when
Yeah.
they go out to smoke, I just want to talk in a small group.
Same. I'm the
So
same.
I'm leaving.
At conferences,
Yeah.
I start smoking cigarettes and stuff just so I could get a break mentally.
That's so
Yeah,
awesome. You're
yeah.
picking up cigarettes
I was
at the...
with people who don't speak English. I would just start smoking
That's a
with
thing.
them
That's
and then
a-
try and make
My
conversation.
old roommate, addicted to nicotine, he's never bought a pack in his life.
Yeah,
because
same.
he's like, it's a social thing
Yeah.
where you just ask someone for a cigarette. It's such a beautiful thing.
It is really
That's
nice.
why if you
yeah,
vape,
yeah,
sorry, but
yeah,
you're horrible.
Yeah, no,
Smoke a
no, you
fucking
smoke.
cigarette.
Yeah.
Smoking cigarettes is so much better.
It is.
Maybe not
yeah.
health-wise.
And
We are
also-
scientists, but not.
Yeah, no,
that
don't,
kind.
we don't
quote us on
endorse.
that.
We do not endorse
We
smoking.
don't endorse smoking, but I explicitly do not condone vaping.
No, I hate vaping.
Vaping's stupid. Unless
Yeah.
you're Lana Del Rey, then that's really cool.
So I also think giving someone a cigarette is something that's quite selfless. So
It's an act
you
of
can't,
love.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. When you're vaping, it is a sharing thing. But
Yeah.
when you are giving someone a cigarette, it's like you can have it
'Cause it's
There's
their
no
own
questions.
thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
They
that is
take
your
it out of
cigarette.
the little packet, and they're
Yeah.
like, you can have that. You can do what you will with it.
Yeah, you can save it for later. You can smoke it now. You
Yeah,
can do half. It
yeah,
doesn't matter.
exactly, yeah.
Whereas like the giving someone your vape thing is like a tapping foot
Yeah,
situation
exactly.
of like, well, my brain is now yelling at me. You need to give me this back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's really I miss community like that.
There's that's what my old roommate said. He's like, it's a social barrier.
Yeah.
He said that's why he makes all of his friends is you ask random strangers for cigarettes and you start
Yeah.
talking about life. It's a beautiful thing.
You do. And you can also just leave as well. It's like there's no like strings attached to any of the conversation, which
It's
is really nice.
lovely.
Yeah.
That is something that stresses me out, which I'm starting to get better at because I'm starting to say no more and feeling more comfortable with voicing my opinion and saying when I'm uncomfortable I want to leave or whatever. But I think for a long time I was so scared of like being in situations like that because I didn't feel comfortable ending conversations because I'm very fortunate people do like talking to me and I love talking to them, so it's really great. But when I find myself in situations where I'm not enjoying this conversation or I have a headache or I actually want to go talk to that person, I'm like, I'm trapped.
Yeah.
Because before I didn't have the skills or the confidence to navigate away from that situation or communicate how I'm feeling or whatever. And so my default would be to try to not do conversation at all as much as possible as a default.
Yeah.
So that way I would have the energy say, which is like a strategy. It's one way of doing it. I wouldn't say it's a good way of doing it. Wouldn't recommend. Really exhausting,
Probably not.
really stupid.
Yeah.
But it does technically work.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think as I get older, I'm getting better at like saying no or finding ways. I don't know. I feel like a great, if you're maybe slightly socially anxious and you don't want to disappoint people, whatever, say I'll be right back. I'm going to the bathroom, and then just leave.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
It is,
So the thing you do
yeah.
is say no, you can't use the bathroom, and
Yeah.
you just fucking leave, or
Yeah.
you come back and go to a different group.
Yeah.
And because especially if you go a lot, what are they going to say?
Yeah.
You're in the bathroom a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
UTI?
Yeah.
What's going on?
If you have anxiety, tell
Yeah.
people that you have a UTI.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
get at a jail-free card. And they're like, you have a lot of UTIs. And you're
Yeah.
like, I'm one dirty
Okay.
bitch.
Oh
Like,
god, so many problems.
I've got, listen, one thing about me, I put the U in UTI. That's something about me. I'm getting a lot of UTIs. In reality, I'm just in the bathroom on my phone for 4 minutes because I
Yeah.
need to calm down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But no, I definitely feel that where it's like, I do identify as like a fun social person, but I'm not the life of the party. I think for a long time I felt bad about that or felt negative emotions about it. And I'm just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I think that does come with age as well.
Yeah.
Because I would always say I'm an extrovert, but
Yeah.
no one has an unlimited social battery where they can just keep running and running and running.
Yeah.
And I also like to be in bed by like 10 because I like to
Amen.
work out
Amen.
and stuff.
Amen.
And that's what makes me happy.
I go to the gym at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
So I wake up to go to the gym
Yeah.
at like 5:30.
Yeah.
So I have to be in bed.
Yeah.
I have to fall asleep by 9:25 in order to get 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Destroys my entire social life.
It does. It really does.
Single-handedly.
Yeah.
People will be like, do you want to get a movie at 7? And I'm like, no.
No.
That's
Yeah.
too late.
It is.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. And if you don't get enough sleep, your motivation to going to the gym or doing a good job at the gym,
Or enjoy
really,
life,
yeah,
or
it's
be
just
hungry or
completely,
anything.
yeah,
It's all just
yeah,
like,
it just tanks. Yeah,
I find it so annoying growing up, like getting older and learning more about life and finding out that all the boring things that old people have been telling us they're right about.
yeah,
Sleep being important, eating being important, having a social life being important.
Yeah.
Like it really pisses me off.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I wanted the solution to be like magnesium.
yeah.
I really did. I really wanted to be magnesium so bad, and then I wanted to be ashwagandha. I'm really sick and tired
Yeah.
of consistent sleep being
Yeah.
the underpinning
It
factor of
is,
my
yeah.
mental stability. It's really annoying.
I agree with that. I grew up like in the noughties, right, 2010s, and
The
I
noughties?
noughties, is that not like
What is that?
NOUGHTIES? Maybe that's an
Is it
Australian thing. Maybe noughties. Yeah,
I feel like
The
I'm being
2010s,
trolled. I'm
yeah.
being trolled.
And I was hell bent on being like Tumblr girl cool. Like I really wanted to be Lana Del Rey.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I mean, still do.
She's
Yeah,
cool as fuck.
and I wanted to just be, you know, mysterious and fun, quirky girl and all that. And I realized how, like, my personality is completely the opposite of being a free spirited, cute, fun person. I like
you're
rules.
A cute, fun person.
No, I like rules.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I like rules and planning and scheduling.
God, I love. Obviously, the way that I'm doing this with sending people emails, I have a when to meet. I'm booking.
Yeah,
it's
perfect.
not everyone's the way that they function.
This is the way I function.
I have to take a step back and take a deep breath and be like, other people function differently.
Yeah.
This is not that deep.
Yeah,
this is a fun thing you're doing in your room.
Yeah.
Like it's not because it's like Luke Yan, for instance, literally in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
He has internet every 4 days.
Yeah,
like he's like, yeah, I might be there in April, and I'm like.
Okay.
I'm like, this is some people function this way.
Yeah.
He will show up. It'll be fine. And he always does. It's fine.
And it'll
It's
be
not an
fun.
issue.
Yeah.
Same thing with Leah. Like she's such a free spirit that it's like I think what I'm gonna have to do is just be like, oh my god, let me cut your hair, and then there's gonna be microphones and camera and be like, we're gonna do this first.
Don't you touch my hair? I'm like,
I cut her hair. Not currently. Her current haircut is done by somebody else. And I cut her hair, and every single person would be like, oh my god, your hair looks great. And whenever I'm in the room with her, I'd always be like, yeah, whoever did it did a beautiful job. And they're like, oh my god, who did it? And Leah's literally like. Because she's heard me say it 800 times because she got a drastically different haircut.
Yeah.
And so everyone was like, oh my God. And it did look really good.
Yeah.
Outside of my
That's skill.
participation.
So you're an actor, a scientist, and a hairdresser.
And a poet.
That's
something that I love bringing up because people, so for instance, like my supervisors will be like, oh my God, this is your first publication. I'm like, in science. And they're like, oh yeah, that's like your little line. I was like, that's true.
No.
I do creative writing.
Yeah.
I've won awards for things. Like, I'm a writer.
Yeah. That's actually really interesting because not many of us actually do creative writing at all. Like,
really?
Yeah, I mean, I journal, but it's mostly just because I can't find someone to bitch to on the phone. I'm bitching to a journal. My journal is actually terrible, and you know you're supposed to be writing like life affirming things and gratitude and
this is
all
the
that.
death note.
Yeah, I'm always just like, I hate this person.
That's like, I don't think Ella would mind me mentioning this because her New Year's resolution was to be less of a hater. She's let go of a lot of things. She doesn't do this anymore. She used to have a list
of people.
Her list wasn't explicitly a kill list, but it wasn't inexplicably a kill list. It was like a hyper rage,
like a burn book.
Yes,
like a Mean Girl's burn book.
Yes,
and she's not a mean girl, which is funny to me.
She's not. She's a very interesting person because like she's not mean, but if she was assigned a sin, it would be wrath.
Yeah,
She's a wrathful woman. Yeah, but she is like when she does the wrong thing, she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, that was so wrong. Like she says what she's thinking, which I find very fun and magnetic. Yeah. But when people are like, I'm afraid of Ella, I'm like, that does make sense. Yeah. Like she can. Yeah. If you do something that pisses her off, she will let you know.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's justified doesn't matter. Yeah. And then you kind of have to go from there. So it's a little intimidating if you don't know her or haven't been around someone like that before. But she's so fucking funny. Yeah. She was the last episode. And she was it's so funny. The first episode was me and Ren. And I didn't know what I was doing, which now I've figured everything out clearly. The way my phone was like tilted, like I know exactly what's going on. And so we were like had that nervous, fun energy. It was great. Ella is so cool as a cucumber. Yeah. I'm like showing her the thing. And she's like, yeah, whatever. And she's like, can I play with the microphone? Like, can I like do this or whatever? And I was like, your brain is so fascinating because she just like doesn't get. She's like crossing her legs, like she's like touching away, like she's so chilling. Yeah. She does not give a fuck. Yeah. Because she's just like, yeah, I gotta go to the gym in 30 minutes. Yeah. Like, well, this will take whatever. Like, it's so funny to see how different people react. Like, I bet Luke Young will be a nightmare.
Yeah.
Like he's.
You have to put him in a playpen or something. I reckon.
I'm
gonna
have to strap him down with a belt to keep him from running around the room and screaming and grabbing things. Yeah. Because he's quiet. Oh my God, it's raining. Yeah. Oh my God, rain. So we do have, since we're getting close to the time, we can start with our second to last thing. So this is a segment called Peer Review. So it's essentially like a yes or no, a tutor boot. I'm going to list 15. I counted them this time. Famously, I kept forgetting if it was 10 or 15. I counted them. There's 15. Yeah. We're going to go one by one and you say either accept or reject. Yeah. Almost like their peer review comments. Yeah. And so the idea is to like do it quickly. Don't think too much. Yeah. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
First one, marriage equality.
Accept.
Nice, okay.
That was a trick.
Just a little giggle. Second one, marriage.
Accept.
Mar, which is Spanish for sea.
Reject.
Okay. Ma, the film.
Reject.
M, like the letter.
Accept.
Nothing.
Reject.
-1.
Accept.
Okay. The right to bear arms.
Accept.
IKEA.
Accept.
Nice. IGA.
Accept.
McDonald's.
Accept.
Freedom of press.
Accept.
Penguins.
Accept.
Lolita.
Accept.
Ooh, Sharknado 2.
Accept.
That was your final one. Yay! Great job. So you did accept marriage equality, which is really good.
That's good.
I am glad you did that
Yeah.
because there was the one I did with Ren. The first one I said was civil rights.
Yeah.
And she pauses because she's laughing so much she doesn't want to do. And I'm like, that's a long pause. Like you gotta say something. So I'm glad that you did say yes in a timely manner. Thank you.
Yeah.
You rejected the Spanish word for C.
Yeah. I think maybe because I've been living in such an English-centric world, I'm like maybe. I was like, I'm scared of the unknown Spanish word for C.
The unknown. There's a Sia song called, or it's by somebody else, but featuring Sia called Del Mar.
Yeah.
Doja Cat's on it.
Yeah.
Sia's Australian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't explain why. I actually really like all the Spanish speaking people I've ever met.
Yeah.
The French have been a bit different. Most of them,
Thank you.
yeah. This is probably not an unpopular.
I've said it multiple times on this podcast already. Thank you for bringing it up.
Okay.
I feel so
listened
seen.
to the other podcast episodes.
Unprompted.
So, yeah.
This is a genuine live Trish reaction
yeah.
to French people. Tell me about French people.
So this is based on. I took French for 10 years.
Bless
I
you.
took it in. Yeah. I know.
That's social
I did
work,
it in high school and I did it in uni, and I tried really, really hard. Obviously a bit rusty, but when I went to Paris, I traveled around France. It was pretty hard. I think an element of the rat race culture lives there, so people do not give a fuck about you. Like if you're crying and lost on the metro, they'll just walk right past you.
Yeah,
got a lot
Horrible.
better when I went down south and people were like, oh, actually willing to practice and talk to me in French, which was like, oh, this is good. My 12 years of like trying to learn this language has finally paid off.
Yeah.
In contrast, with any Spanish speaking persons, they've always taken the most amount of time to try and get the conversation going. This is despite me not knowing any Spanish at all, to the point where I was making up Spanish words by using French words and adding A's and all sorts of weird things to make it sound more Spanish.
For some of them.
Yeah, but some of it doesn't.
Yeah, some of them it's wrong.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I told someone I ate dogs because I forgot like carne is dogs, but I was thinking carne is meat. Yeah.
No, carne
okay.
is meat.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
okay,
dog
good.
is perro.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I got really, and it's still I didn't look it up because I was just too scared of thinking about like the idea of someone
you approaching a sweet older Spanish person being like, I eat dogs.
Yeah, and just like affirming a very bad racial stereotype as well. Which
Surely
is
they
also,
hear your accent though and they go, she doesn't really know what's going on.
No, she's no clue.
That's why I felt in China though too, because I went to Japan and China since I've been here, and different cultures have different relationships with people trying to learn their language.
Yeah.
In Japan, you try to talk to them, you say something in Japanese and they respond to you in English.
Yeah.
And in China, I'd be like, no, I don't speak Chinese, and I would say one word and they go, you're a Nanchang local. You've lived here your whole life. Come into my house and drink tea. And I'm like, I don't know who you are. I have to go. We have a ticket to the museum. Like different culture. And that is a beautiful thing about Spanish culture. I felt the same way in China.
Yeah.
Where it's like people are they're so excited when you want to learn their language.
A bit more accepting and excited to see that you're here.
Although
trying.
I think when Japanese people do it, it's charming.
Yeah.
Because
when they
like,
reject you.
Yes. Because they're in my mind, it's because their level of quality is so high.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, you're right. I am doing a bad job.
Yeah.
Like so real.
Yeah.
But then when French people are doing it, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Nobody wants. What are you, from what place are you making this judgment?
I don't know, because they're really insistent. I'm going to get cancelled for this.
But
they
what, by who? French people? Who cares?
Actually, there's some
no
French people
spine,
I
no
really
rights.
like. Yeah,
French people don't have rights. They're lower in the ethics than octopuses. Who cares?
This is like my geese thing all over again. I just get something that I dislike. But so there's this real cultural thing where they want to drive French as a more commonly spoken language. Obviously, because the threat of English has obliterated everyone else's like language, basically.
Yes.
But they don't make the most welcoming environment to practice French. So it's really at odds with people trying to fall in love with a certain aspect of culture.
They make it very hard.
Yeah, they make it really difficult. And I would call myself a francophile and a francophone. And I've basically wanted to be Parisian since I was like 10.
I'm francophobic. Yeah.
Now, it's just really difficult because I think Paris is probably just the wrong spot if you are trying to practice French. But you see people who go in and they don't have any attempt to speak French at all, and they just living their lives, and that's fine. But it would be nice to also have like someone try and practice with you or talk to you if you and I do not speak broken French. I will say it's not so bad. Yeah, I know my tenses and my grammar. It might be a bit wrong or there might be some errors in it, but I'm not like making up Spanish words. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's more like maybe if you're talking to a child, like the type of French I'm speaking. So I might.
You're on your hands and knees touching the floor.
I know. Yeah,
Boo,
you'd be like, maman, papa. Je suis bébé.
That's lit. That's so
But,
beautiful.
Yeah, like, you know, it was definitely very different when I went to speak Spanish that I don't know. I
Yeah.
confidently do not know Spanish.
Yeah.
Ma,
Yeah.
very terrifying to me. The
I took
idea
Spanish
of that.
for a long time, but I never we went on a trip to Puerto Rico, and that was the most. In the moment, I was
Do you like
this
Bad
is
Bunny?
the most. And I only found out about Bad Bunny because somebody in my old lab was Puerto Rican and very Puerto Rican. She lived Viva Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And she was a Bad Bunny fan for a long time. Because it's Puerto Rico is a small place.
Yeah,
There's
tiny.
not a lot of people there proportionally to the US.
Yeah.
And so for someone to even amass the fame that he did at that time is very cool and very exciting.
Yeah.
When he won the Grammy this year, made me very excited because one, I was like, Slay. But then also I'm thinking of this young Puerto Rican woman who's still in STEM, still doing research, and I bet she was so excited to see her culture celebrated in that. Like, it made me so, because I was like, I know that bitch is turning the fuck up right now.
Yeah.
We need to take more photos. Like, it was so, as I do like Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
So,
yeah.
Yes. He's also like kind of a good person.
He is. He's really lovely. I got into him because I was friends with a Colombian guy.
I guess I was friends
Yeah.
with Bad Bunny.
Yeah. I'm friends with Bad Bunny.
I met him, back in 2015.
But he seems like a really genuine character, and it's really nice. He still drives a Toyota Camry. I don't know if anyone.
I did not know
knows
that. How do you know that?
Because
You're following him.
I
You've
do.
crashed
Yeah,
into
yeah.
him.
He's my friend, but I think because he was driving like a much nicer car. I can't remember what it was, but he kept, because Puerto Rico isn't like the biggest island, he would get like a lot of attention, and he was like, I don't want this, so I'm just gonna go back to driving my shitty 2010 Toyota Camry. And I was like, I really like that. Like, I really, really, really like that.
Puerto Rico is a beautiful place. It's one of the most beautiful places. There's lots of things about Puerto Rico that are really cool. One is that there's like a score for topography for how fast environments change. So like going from like desert to like semi-arid to whatever. Puerto Rico is one of the highest scores in the world. So you can drive for 10 minutes and you'll go from like a rainforest to like a desert. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Also, the bioluminescent lakes, the ones where there's like bacteria or plankton, I forget, in the water, they absorb sunlight during the day. At night, when you agitate them, they glow. There's like 13 of those lakes in the world. 3 of them are in Puerto Rico.
Wow.
There's so many of them in Puerto Rico, and they're dying because of pollution and global warming or whatever. But they're still there.
Yeah.
They're still cool. They're not as bright as they used to be, but Puerto Rico's a beautiful place. And they do speak English.
Yeah.
So if you're an English speaking person and you're afraid of going to Puerto Rico, don't be. Everyone there speaks English and Spanish because they're better than everyone else. They
Bilingual.
speak 2 whole languages, and that's normal because that's what they do to live.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's sweet. So we're nearing the end of our time. So the name of the podcast is Supplemental Figures, which is of course a pun about the science version, but then also figures that support you and supplement you. So the last question that I ask people, I do them in different orders every time. I'm not organized like that. Is to ask you, who is a supplemental figure in your life? So mine is always, I switch between a few. You don't need to know their names. Famously, one of mine is a burrito lady, who her name is Burrito Lady because I never knew her name. Talked to her 5 days a week for 4 years in my undergrad.
That's so cute.
She's beautiful. Had the kids work downstairs, and I knew when she would make my burritos even when she wasn't there because she would do a great job every time. Like, it was just like, and it touched my heart because it's like those people that work those jobs that are maybe not always the most glamorous.
Yeah.
And when they're doing a great job, I'm like, the only reason you're doing a great job is because of your own character and because of the things that you value. There's no glamour in what you're doing. You don't get paid any more money. You are just a sweet and lovely person.
It's just like an ethic, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So like my example of a supplemental figure that I like to bring up is my burrito lady as one of them. Yeah.
Aww,
yeah. So I'm curious who's somebody that you would like to show gratitude towards.
I think we've already mentioned the person, Jen Martin. I think I tell the story quite a lot of times because it's come up a few times, but I wasn't destined to be an ecologist. I don't know if anyone's ever destined to be an ecologist. It's not probably the wisest career choice.
Yeah.
So,
there's some young 13-year-old that really wants to be an ecologist.
Yeah,
That's like, fuck.
Yeah.
That's
It's fun.
Yes.
But yeah,
The trials,
the
tribulations.
there are. It's not the easiest thing, but I think because coming out of high school and going to uni, it was pretty hard, and not in terms of like I was not privileged or I'm underprivileged or anything. I was very much privileged. I just was stuck in a rut where I didn't know what I was going to do with my life, and I kept failing classes, which is like quite unusual for someone who was doing quite well in school and whatever. And I just was trying to do engineering and biomed engineering, and then
that's horrible.
It was.
That's worse. Don't be. You said don't be an ecologist. Don't be.
Don't do
either
that.
of those things.
I have friends who are still in the field.
Bless
you. You're doing important work.
Bless their heart and soul.
Not for me.
Yeah.
But
someone should be doing it, and it should not be me.
No. I'm also poor attention to detail. I don't think you want me installing.
I don't think that's good for like bridges.
No,
Yeah.
no, definitely very bad. But I was on a bus commuting home one time, and I was just talking to this little boy on the bus. And yeah, it's really
I
weird.
wish I could do that.
Yeah, no, I don't.
As a man, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't
It is.
do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was with his parent, so
I still can't do it as a man. I still can't. The way that a woman, you can find a child alone and crying and hug them.
Yeah.
Which it's like bold of me to be complaining about how much easier it is to be a woman.
No, but it is nice. It is. You don't have to be maternal to want to like take care of like someone who's more vulnerable than you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started talking to this little boy, and we were talking about like spiders and bats and what they do and how interesting they all are.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really thinking about that. I just was like, oh yeah, bats. Do you know they don't really like, they listen, and that's how they communicate with each other and everything. And a lot of them are up really poor vision and all that. And he knew everything. He knew so much more than I did. It was actually insane. I started competing with this little like 5-year-old boy on the bus about what we knew and what we didn't know about animal facts.
Yeah.
And then eventually his mum probably got sick of the conversation and was like, can you stop bothering my 5-year-old child? But she was like, she was Jen Martin, and she was a lecturer at the University of Melbourne, and said, oh, what are you doing at uni? And, and I said, biomed engineering. She was like, do you like it? And I was like, no. And she's like, you should probably consider.
You met Jen Martin because on a bus she told you to shut up.
Well, she's too nice to tell me shut up. But she
said, stop harassing my son. Part B, do you want to work for me? Come over here.
Yeah, so she basically was
so beautiful.
Yeah, it was very serendipitous.
Yeah.
Like, and I started talking to her, and then I met up with her at uni. And while she's like taught me some science communication subjects, like 2 of them, but she's never had a direct, I guess, trajectory, direct control over the trajectory of my career or anything like that. But she's always been someone like a supplemental figure who's helped guide me along this journey. Yeah. And it's really weird because I owe her quite a lot, but there's never an opportunity to be like acknowledgements, like thanks.
That's when I write people letters. I'm very interested in writing, as you know.
Yeah.
And I write because I don't really have a ton of money. I don't know if you know that about me.
Yeah, it's a famous thing with PhD students in general. We're very poor.
Yeah, the M in PhD stands for money.
Yeah.
That's why we have so much.
Yeah.
That stands for fun.
Yeah.
But so writing people handwritten letters destroys them entirely.
Yeah.
My supervisor that came here did a sabbatical. He's the reason why I even have this connection, whatever. I wrote him a letter when he said goodbye, and I gave it. I wrote one for his wife too, who I knew not as well. And I was like, you can read this whenever. But when I gave it to him, I was like, do not read this in public. You will cry.
Yeah.
And he waited until Christmas, so like 6 months to read it. And he read it and he texted me. He was like, I love you so much. And I was like, I love you.
Yeah.
So I always like, you should write her a letter. She'd love it.
I will.
Especially because then I always get nervous too, because it's like, I'm a very sentimental, sweet person, but I don't like doing it.
Yeah.
Especially not in person. Because I'm like, I don't want you to cry. I don't know what to do. Like, I don't really care.
No.
So I like writing because it's very one-sided. I get to do everything I want. And then you have the privacy to respond whenever you want. If you want to respond or whatever.
Yeah.
You should write her a letter.
Yeah. It's like,
something a nerd does.
I guess maybe it's because you're showing genuine thought and feeling.
Yeah.
But it's in a controlled environment where you don't have to deal with the
absolutely
stuff.
And also, since it's not digital, I have no record of it. So it's like, it's gone.
Yeah.
I did that. My friend got married. I couldn't go. I wrote a lovely letter for him and took photos in like a vintage photo booth.
Yeah.
And I literally at the end, I was like, you better not lose this because I will never say these things out loud.
Yeah.
So you need to really guard this letter with your life. Because it's like, my male friend from like forever, and we're such good friends and I love him so much. But it's like very much like a boy.
Yeah.
We're very boys with each other.
Yeah.
So him getting married to like somebody like he loves so much and they should be together. So when they got married, it was very sad. And I felt very sad that I couldn't go because I'm broke. Flight is very expensive and it's not worth going to Pennsylvania. And I was like, why? Especially because we have to finish at some point, but he was in the Navy. He was stationed in Hawaii. So I thought
Hawaii?
I thought they were going to get married in Hawaii, which would have been perfect for me because that's half the distance.
Yeah.
And then I would get to
also
be in Hawaii.
great holiday. Yeah.
And then they fucking got married in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So Will Reiser, if you're listening to this, when you do your renewing of the vows, do it closer to me next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, writing letters, I think is a great solution. Plus, she's so lovely. She probably would. Yeah, but she also like everyone loves her because she's great. Yeah, she's lit. I love her even though she doesn't laugh at my jokes. That's okay. That's the one thing. Jenna and I get along so well, whatever. Yeah. But we definitely have different senses of humor. Yeah. So I'll say things that to me are clearly jokes, and she'll be like, "That sounds really concerning," and I'm like, oh, "Come on." But she is really funny. She just has like a different. Yeah, but sweet. So also before we wrap, I have a lovely gift for you.
Oh, we can do a gift exchange.
This is this is the famous
so cute.
I Love Women sticker.
Oh, I love women too, but not all women. Not
I love most women.
Yeah.
Some women should be held accountable.
Yeah.
100%. Margaret Thatcher specifically.
And
this edition, the sparkly edition, is only for my guests. If you're interested in paper version, they're on sale on my Ko-Fi. So
this will go lovely on my drink bottle.
it's like Ella said she's gonna put it on her car. And I was like, don't do that.
It's cute though.
Yeah. I mean, I would appreciate it, but I'm like, I don't think, oh my God.
I didn't know if it was too early for you. I also didn't know if you drank, but
I don't, but I will now.
Okay. It's not got the tag on it, so that's good. It's just
Yeah.
a bottle of, I don't know what it is. It says Bianco,
Yeah.
which my fake Spanish, fake Italian is telling me white.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
here's some.
Thank you. So it's also chilled, so it's ready to drink now,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
And-
What the fuck?
I like fish, but I also like eating fish. So
This is tin fish.
yeah,
That's
maybe
not
this is a good opportunity. Maybe if we can get a sponsorship from Nuri.
Please, because we're sponsored by Big Grass. I don't know if you watched the first episode.
No.
Which the first episode, the audio quality is so bad. If you watched it, that was a test. I was testing our friendship, and you passed because that audio quality is horrible. It's sent from hell. But so we're sponsored by Big Grass, and so soon.
Now we have Nuri. So
Nuri.
I
This is
did think maybe we
beautiful.
could eat them,
Product of
but
Portugal.
yeah,
Yeah, we should eat them. We should eat them right after because there is
Yeah.
a beautiful, gorgeous rug under here that I'm afraid of.
Excellent.
I'm afraid of. We've just been having so much fun.
we have.
Yeah, but thank
I
you
think
so
we've gone
much.
over time by quite a lot, but I've enjoyed every moment
Thank
of
you
this.
so much.
So,
I love
yeah.
having you here. It's very fun.
Thank you.
This is the fun part. Like I will do the editing and the posting, whatever. But like once I have enough money to pay someone to do that, I will never fucking touch it again. I fucking hate that shit. But this part, the talking, the coordinating with people, is so fun. Is the reason why I'm doing it. It's
Yeah.
because like I love my career. It's really fun. Love my lab. Everyone's great. Whatever. I never had an issue once. But the part that I really miss, which I got from doing through my thesis and was very confirming when I did sci-fi, is like I love talking to people.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing about being alive.
Yeah.
And so I love my friends, and I there's so many interesting people in science, and I think that we are supposed to be so objective, and we're supposed to not be ourselves, which is important, and you should do that as well. But I'm like, there's this secret untapped reservoir of really interesting people I think everyone in the world would love, and I think that you're one of them.
Oh,
So
thank
very-
you. Thank you.
Yes. But so other things, I looked it up. The thing you do on Spotify to support us is you rate it 5 stars. That's what you're supposed to do. That is important for the metrics. Because buying stickers is a great way to support us, but I don't have any money. So if you don't want to spend any money, things like comments, reacting, all of those things are actually genuinely very important, especially for smaller things. So even if you don't do it for me, do it for another show that you like. And then finally, where can people find you?
I have an Instagram at Trish Koh. Koh is the last name. It's sort of like a weird mix between a very unused personal account and an occasionally used professional account.
Yes,
it sort of
is.
sits in this like limbo.
Yeah.
But you know, if people want me to post more stuff, I can. I just don't think I'm possibly one of the most interesting social media.
Yeah, that's a good way to contact you though, because a
Yeah.
lot of people like I had
Yeah.
Ren on, and she's like, you can find me outside counting bugs, and I'm like, that's not like, that is funny and awesome, but like if somebody wants you on their podcast,
Yeah.
or they want you to do stats for fish for them,
Yeah,
that would be a good way of
yeah,
contacting you.
easy. I'm always on my phone, unfortunately.
For better or for worse.
Yeah,
My phone also has a chokehold on me. What I need is a phone that if I try to use it after 5 p.m. it instantly explodes.
Yeah, same.
That's
yeah,
what
yeah,
I need.
yeah.
I
The
need it
threat-
to shrapnel
yeah,
in my face
yeah,
if I try to use it after 5 p.m.
I have to be scared of
I
the
need to
actual
be scared
thing.
of touching
Yeah,
it past
yeah,
a certain time.
Yeah,
There should be fear.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's sweet. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.